measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls. It's women and girls. We create the smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women. We can fight. I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me. Many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles just to attend school. Any society is how it treats its women and girls. One step still.
Buckle up, buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz. I'm one of your hosts. My co-host, Donna, sitting across from me. How are you, Donna?
I'm good. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. So if you want to join the conversation, give us a call, 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. One of the it's interesting times. That's what you say. When Trump kind of like self-nominates himself for Pope, it's kind of like, okay, we think he's kidding, but it's been such a bizarre ride that we don't even know anymore when he's kidding. So, nominates himself for Pope, and then who but, as my friend Daniel says, Aunt Pity Pat, or you know him as Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham jumps on the Pope wagon, and he says, I think that's a great idea. So, yeah. It doesn't help when you have facilitators like that. I mean, it's you would think Catholics would be outraged that Trump is trying to co-opt the Pope position, but so far haven't heard anything. So, let's talk about the good folks in Tampa who have been making the news here lately, because it seems like all roads lead to Tampa nowadays as far as the people who you've got, Ashley Moody, who's our Attorney General. And then Pam Bondi, who formerly held that position. Now Pam Bondi is the Attorney General for the United States. So two notorious Tampanians right there. But a third Tampanian has joined the national news.
My favorite Dino.
Your what? Your favorite what?
Dino.
Dino. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I wanted to find a Dino gif, and I couldn't because I was busy all night. But, yeah, Dino Jane Castor. And wow, the comment sections are giving so hard on this. Trump has appointed Jane Castor to the FEMA Review Council. Now, he advertises this as a bipartisan committee, but if you've listened to our show for any length of time, you know that we have been saying Jane Castor is Democrat in name only. And so it's like, okay, now, well, first, let me say this before all the people in South Tampa call up here screaming. The opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF Tampa. So, Here comes Trump appointing Jane Castor as the put your mute on, Donna. Appointed Jane Castor to the FEMA Review Council, which he says is bipartisan. And okay, so number one, Jane Castor is a Dino. Number two, biking while black. Anything to throw? There she is. Yay. Okay. We're still in the very rough stages of live streaming, so we haven't even mastered the Zoom recordings yet, but we'll get there. So what have you to say about this appointment? Well, number one, wait, Donna, let me throw this in. I do, and some of y'all will clutch your pearls and fall down when I say this, I do commend her for her handling of the hurricanes and COVID and all that. I think she would be a great appointment, but for the fact that she's going to be on Trump's little review council. What say you, Donna?
So I think that when Jane Castor's execution of the technical aspects of being a mayor have been solid.
Yeah.
Right? Have they been equitable?
No.
No. And that is not her legacy. Her legacy is not equity. Her legacy is inclusion of her
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on Jane Castor's team, you're good with her, but if you're not, man.
If you live on Davis Island, if you're one of her top donors, if you're in that circle of air quote prominent individuals in the city, then you're Gucci, as the kids say. If you are not, then you're going to have to struggle. And so, it's and she has people in her inner circle that are of various ethnicities. I've noticed that. But if you're not in there, you're not square.
Right. Mm-hmm. Not Gucci.
Right.
So yeah, because she's term limited for mayor, so she's probably very happy to accept this position because then it gives her a launch onto the next phase of her career.
I have a wild prediction.
Okay.
Jane Castor, by year's end, ends up in Trump's cabinet.
Yes.
She maybe even replace Pete
I think she's going to
Hegseth.
be like the head of FEMA, yes. She's very capable.
She's capable.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a smart lady, for sure. Like, highly strategic, and I mean that in the best and worst ways.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. She's a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, whoever was calling, please call back. Frank was tied up with something else.
Any woman who is a part of the LGBTQ community that can ascend to the highest ranks of the Tampa Police Department is extremely intelligent and exceptionally strategic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and quite political.
Hard stop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the comment sections, oh my God, it's hilarious. I mean, you get you a little snack and a little drink and you sit down and you read all the comments. Number one, you've got folks on the MAGA side coming in and saying, she's a radical liberal. And I just roll on the floor.
Well, for the comment that I just made, I want to clarify that because I could see that being perceived the wrong way. So, first of all, remember when I say this, I'm a member of a marginalized group myself, right? And there are certain things you have to do when you're in primarily white spaces in order to be successful. Because no matter how good the people around you are, we are all victims of the idea that white people are superior, right? And that straight people are superior, and that people who aren't differently abled are inferior. So there are all of these ideas which is why we're intersectional feminists, right? there are all of these ideas. And intersectionality, if I would give you guys a review, is what you basically have to do and what the consequences are of having a multiplicity or even a singularity of identities that are marginalized by greater society. So as a consequence of that, you have to behave and present in certain ways in order to be considered, in order to be invited in to these spaces, right? In order to be able to work and earn in these spaces, there's certain things you have to do. My week, I've been doing work on my actual job, and this week has consisted of me contorting myself into everything except an Annie's pretzel. To convince people of the veracity of my expertise, right? So, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that she isn't just good. I think we admitted that first, out of the box, that she is bright and that she is capable.
Very capable.
But that she does not, she's like the Iron Woman. She kind of closed the door behind her, when she got in and, became a log cabin Republican.
Well, and let us not forget that her mother-in-law left or was voted out of the state Congress, and so she decided to run for a city council seat that was up and held by a progressive candidate.
Did you see the ad that the Democrats, I don't know if it's a state, Maria may be able to tell us, that the state or the local DEC is having a log cabin Republican speak? It's actually the person who founded the Lincoln Project.
Oh, okay.
Is a speaker for the Democratic Party.
That was actually FDP.
Was that? Ouch. You didn't have to come in with the black eyes this morning.
Good morning, Maria.
Good morning. That was actually FDP, and they gave him a speaking position on a conversation they were doing around Medicare and Social Security. Because the Lincoln Project has proven to be so promising.
Someone said in the thing, please don't become the Republican Light Party in the comments.
Well, they already are.
Right.
It's outrageous.
Listen, I woke up this morning, I dreamt of partridges, really beautiful, juicy ones.
Ooh.
A tree full of them.
Pears.
There were no pears. I don't know what the tree was. I know they were partridges because they're so fat and round, right? And normally they don't go into trees. These are ground birds. There's a legend that says that they were people that were turned into birds, which is why they stayed close to the ground, or they were cursed or something. Well, anyway, I dreamt of a tree full of partridges last night, and it got me thinking. And the next thought, because you know how dreams are, right? In the dream, it was like, Chuck Schumer sold us out.
Do I know how dreams are?
How does the partridges in a tree connect to Chuck Schumer sold us out? And then I woke up out of my sleep thinking that was our only chance. And I think it was because Maria sent us that thing of Bowman and Bush. They're on YouTube. ZTO is broadcasting a show with them. And they were saying Schumer gave away everything we had.
Of course.
And that led to me dreaming of partridges.
We're going to have to, anybody that does dream analysis, I would love to hear what y'all think about Donna's dream.
They're crazy stuff.
Let's talk to Gary in Largo. Hi, Gary.
Hey, thank you as always for having a great show. And I appreciate WMNF. Let's hope that our dear Fuhrer, Putin's boy, doesn't destroy public radio and get rid of all federal funding for it. That's scary.
It is scary. But, we'll keep going till they come and brush us off to Venezuela or wherever.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? If they sent you guys to even that El Salvador prison, you would be able to beat down everybody. You would have that place under control within a couple of days.
We'd be the top dogs, yeah.
You're going to bring the surly. They'll be sitting down there saying, oh, no, they're sending those surly ladies here. Anyway, look, I called about a local MAGA who just typifies the worship of Trump, the lack of accountability, the lack of rule of law.
Ooh, I know where you going.
Yeah, his name is Jeff Knight. He is a wealthy business owner who has a history of recklessly operating his massive yachts in the Clearwater area and getting away with it. He also has a history of sexually harassing his employees and getting away with it. This all according to the venerable journalism from the New York Post. The Tampa Bay Times won't tell the truth about the guy because he owns Janus Live and advertises with them. But he hit the Clearwater Ferry the other night and killed a man and injured a whole bunch of other people.
He sure did.
Eating in his boat like he always is. We all know him around here in the Largo area, the Bel Air area. He was not arrested. You know, like if he'd have been an illegal immigrant, hell,
he'd already be in El Salvador. What are you talking about?
The street just for wearing a burqa.
Right.
But he's not arrested. He's got the lawyer that everyone hires when they're DUI and kill somebody. And the Tampa Bay Times is carrying his water for him by running his lawyer statements as if they're news articles when they're actually press releases. And he's this big, rich MAGA. You can see him. He looks like, you know, those kind of bearded white guys. And he's just going to get away with it like he always does. And that's why they love Trump, because he gets away with it like he always does. It's just, you know, if you or I did one little thing, but it seems like the rule, I mean, right now, Trump is in violation of the Constitution in so many explicit ways. Why is he still walking around?
Why did he walk the earth after January 6th?
Yes, I mean, and I will say, I'll get off the phone. I hope you have other callers, but here's the last thing. The last time America had a really good protest movement, a street movement that scared the oligarchs, was Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
That's where is the whole American people? You can't always just let the black people do everything hard.
Say it.
The same thing with during the Civil Rights era.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, there were some white people marching, but it's Martin Luther King getting murdered. It's black people getting their heads beaten in. Why don't the white people go out and protest against Putin's puppet? I don't get it.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So let me say this. I want to bring attention to the...
Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Gary. The 50-51 movement, right? Those are pretty large crowds that are out there. They're a little, staccato, a little disorganized, right? And slightly unpredictable and a little volatile. But it seems like the organizers are getting some training because, in a rapid response scenario, it's like, you take what you get, right? People come to the streets and they come as you are. And we should never say to people that you can't be here in this space. It's their right. The Constitution guarantees it. But you have to think of safety. We are trying to send a message. I believe that when we go out to the streets, this isn't just my belief, but, I'm old, okay? When you go out to the streets, you got to keep the main thing. Right. When people start fighting each other and getting dragged off, right, for that, we lose the message. Now we got to go fund me. Now we got videos on Instagram begging people for money to get the individual out of jail, saying, hey, come on, I believe in this and you're going to have to run me over. And then now we have the campaign is no longer about getting rid of Brian Duggan. The campaign is now about getting you out of jail. Right, and you being a freedom fighter, and so when you do take arrests, they need to be strategic, right? Like in the manual, I'm not saying go get arrested and be strategic. This is not a call to action. I am saying that when arrests happen, they are generally planned. And the people that get arrested know they were going to get arrested. It's almost like a controlled environment, okay? And so they say, okay, we have affinity book. We say, this is what you're going to do. Yes, I'm going to go. When they call us and they say, you got 3 seconds to disband, we're not disbanding because we're going to sit down, whatever it is, right? Like that's the playbook. But it's a little wild. But the whole American people are taking the streets, and they deserve to be recognized, and they deserve credit for that.
Right. And for those listeners who don't know, Donna was the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Tampa. Donna has organized, she probably doesn't even know anymore how many protests she's organized, but it's a very different environment doing a protest with her than it is with somebody who doesn't have organizational experience.
You know, a lady told me, was arguing with me on Facebook, as one does. This is what Facebook is for now.
That's what Facebook is for.
It is literally the chronicle of the culture wars that our descendants will look back on and be like, man, they were out of control, right? And they will glean that from Instagram and Facebook. Now, arguing with me, this is a white woman, right? And that is relevant to this discussion.
Oh God, yeah.
You remember her?
I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
I know where you're going.
And she told me that I've probably been to more. This was her nuclear option. I've been to more events, Black Lives Matter protests than you have.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that one. Yeah,
And at
it's
that-
like I don't think so.
See, you know, at that point, I went in the kitchen. I said, it is time for me to have a treat. I have not had any cake. And I went and I made a gluten-free cake because I will not suffer fools. I almost died out there, ma'am. And you know what? I was just like, you have no idea who you're talking to, but I'm going to go make a cake. Dream about partridges. I don't know.
Partridges in not pear trees.
Yeah.
See if you can fix your video, Donna, because you're just sitting there with your mouth agape. It's really astonishing to me that well, I guess it shouldn't be. I shouldn't be surprised by the caucasity. the unbridled caucasity of I do remember that exchange now on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't think so.
And should we even be competing? Like, should you even?
It's not a contest.
Should I imagine myself saying to another member of a trans person, "I've been to more trans days of visibility than you"?
Yes,
I could never. If it were true, I wouldn't say it.
Right.
But how is it relevant? What does that do? And that is the problem. Like, we really, when we go into the protest space, we go into the protest space as we are. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so Americans, with all of their, we'll call them notions, because we're going to be polite today.
No.
Go into the streets with certain notions. That shows up in how the resistance becomes shaped. Mm-hmm. And I think that's okay too. As an organizer, it's almost like being a pastor. You come as you are and you take people where they are. You meet them where they are. However, there is I'm going to say it.
Say it.
Okay. There are a lot of people in leftist organizing spaces that do not hold up the mirror to see that they have brought the American condition of racism with them, sexism, anti-disability, anti-poverty, hatred of poor people, not anti-poverty so much, into the organizing space. Mm-hmm. And we have to say again and again, these spaces actually become painful because of that.
Right.
And it is because America hasn't had its reckoning with that. We're erasing the truth of history because it is offensive, taking things out of museums, renaming things because they offend people's sensibilities, and it's depressing.
Yeah.
These are the things you hear coming out of the White House. But at some point in all of this, we're going to have a reckoning. And when we do, we'll never have a situation like flirting with fascism again.
It's going to take a while for us to get there, unfortunately.
We will go to the brink, right? Mm-hmm. When a people closely approach extinction. And this is from L. Ron Hubbard, shockingly, right? This is straight from Dianetics, because you got to find what's useful when you start reading a book and you're 350 pages in. You got to do what you got to do. And I found this about halfway through this, and I probably was my mid-teens when I read this book, because I ran out of books to read. All right, this was before before the internet. You could get Audible and just go for it. Well, anyway, he says when a people closely approach extinction, he uses an example, Jewish people and black people. It changes the survival dynamic.
Yeah.
So when everyone is saying, and then I'll get off my soapbox, when everyone is saying, why aren't black people upset? Why aren't certain impoverished communities in Montana? Why aren't these people, tearing their hair out at the things that they see happening? And I said, like I said 2 years ago, right on this show.
Yes.
The apocalypse has already come for us. It has already come for First Nations people. We have seen the duplicity of rescinded treaties. We have seen the duplicity of a promise that if you fight in this war for us, we will give you an allotment, 40 acres and a mule. We've seen bills diluted. On the last night before they were voted on, and we get a diluted Civil Rights Act. There's a whole story there that most people do not know. So while we're celebrating what we have, what we asked for, we did not get.
Yes.
So this has already happened to us over and over and over again. And when you're a student of history, you will understand how the mood and the tone that's coming out of marginal groups, and not all of them black. Veterans have seen this. They've come for veterans a million times.
Yep.
They've come for seniors and disabled people and trans people. You see what's going on? No, not bothering anyone.
Yes.
Okay. Can't even get a passport with your gender on it.
Right.
Okay. So we've got a lot of problems in this country, and we don't have a live and let live position on a lot of things. And in a country that's built on a hierarchy, rooted in capitalism, deeper than one can imagine, from our very roots, this is what's going to happen at some point. Your psyche will boil up to the surface and pop out and show the world what you're really about. America has always been this country.
Yep. Because you see a lot of people post, oh, this is not my country. Yeah, it is. You made it, and here we are.
Yeah, and here we are. And this is to say, this is a moment for all of us to say we want to be a family. We want to be a nation that has a culture and that has some cultural cohesion, right?
Right.
It's singing We Will Rock You at a football game. That's universal. It's everybody singing Bohemian Rhapsody at a sing-along brunch. I mean, these are the things that we need to be doing to kind of, and it seems slight, but did you see what Kendrick Lamar's two-step did?
Yes.
I mean, they even had Catholic priests doing this thing.
It was a crip walk, wasn't it?
They were doing, he did a two-step. Sabrina did the crip walk.
Sabrina did the crip walk. Okay.
Serena did the crip walk. But these are the things that we can coalesce around these things. And that can be a point where we can come together. And when we're in the space together, we can have other conversations. But if you look at the comment section on Facebook.
Oh, yes. All right, let's talk to Jiminy, and she's now in Town and Country.
Hey.
Hi, Jiminy.
Hi, my friends. How are y'all today?
How did the move go?
Girl, it's been wild. I've
Moving.
been so busy. Yeah, I've been so busy moving, and then I had no time to rest. But it's all good now. But yeah, no, I've been really enjoying the conversation because I think that duplicity is something that I've been grappling with. Especially because at the 50-51 protest a few weeks ago, I saw a lot of people with signs upholding Cory Booker, because that was right after he did his historic filibuster, right? But then immediately after, he voted to send more weapons to Israel, or to deny aid to Gaza or something like that. And then the news story came out that the Biden administration actually didn't do anything to call for a ceasefire.
Of course.
And they said they were during the campaign.
They all lie to us to get what they want, Jiminy.
They all lie to us. And, how are we supposed to, where is the basis of trust in the government? I feel it's all built on a lie, and it's all built on that. So how are we supposed to move forward and I don't know. Like, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, we have this thing called the Constitution that Trump has been pretty much using for a runner in the hallway. And when you elect a bunch of people who are just, glad-handing, lobby-loving folks, that's what you get. Whoa! Oh, there was this great article, and it was about how the Democrats have this problem with these candidates that are beyond the expiration date for work. Oh my gosh, people went wild on that too. And it's like, are you serious? Yeah.
I think we can't have a conversation about the Democratic Party unless we have a conversation about the approval rating of 27%.
Yeah.
When an approval rating is that low, what we're saying is not hyperbole. It means that there is about to be a massive transfer of power in that space. There's simply no way the folks who think of themselves as the grand poobahs that benight, the people they deem worthy. There's simply no way those folks continue to hold their power and to be taken seriously in a 27% scenario.
Yeah. That's very true.
So,
do you think there's going to be do you think there might be a rise of a new sort of party in Florida, I guess, because there was that guy who sort of denounced himself as a Democrat and just became independent. Do you think that might lead to more people sort of maybe a more progressive party coming up and challenging the two-party system, or do you think it's something else that's happening?
So that's already happened, right? So the big scoop, people saying, register voters. Well, people who have expertise or a solid body of knowledge in that area know that you don't register voters. You just can't keep registering. It's expensive. It can cost $30 or more per form. So all of the costs, the administrative costs, the offices. So, and you're thinking you'd like for your canvassers to get, on the average, quotas are federally illegal. You'd like on the average for your canvasser to get 2 forms an hour. So some canvassers will get more, some canvassers will get less. But you're paying the canvasser about $25 to $35 an hour for the form.
Wow.
So you think that the top end of expense for a voter registration program is $50 per form. Okay? So when you see an organization that has turned in 55,000 forms, like an organization that I was part of in both 16 and 18, very similar numbers both times. You do the math on how much that costs. Wow. Where is that money? That money is not coming into Florida. Now, you guys forget, I talk a lot of smack, but I am an actual political consultant, and I have run a very successful programs all over the United States. I've worked at the presidential, I've worked at the federal level. I've worked on gubernatorial races, and municipal races, county races. And what I can tell you is that voter registration is expensive, and what you're suggesting has already happened. A third of the voters in the state of Florida are registered as MPA. Okay, right? No party affiliation is what we call it here, and many of those voters, in their disgust with either party, have defaulted to the NPA status. When we have an election, it is better to target NPAs and have conversations with them about what they would like to see, because mostly Democrats are going to be polarized on the opposite ends of people who are registered Republican. Not always, right? Because it would require some research to really sort that out. We'd have to get more granular with that. I don't want to just throw numbers out there because numbers matter when you're doing political field, which is where my expertise is. But I'm not giving away free game on this radio show. Because I know people are listening, because there are magical formulas to this. And this is why I would say 9 out of 10 times I'm going to be working on a winning campaign. And we change the formula when it is not getting positive IDs in the field. That's how you win. But we have a lot of consultants that say, hey, you need a direct mail program. Direct mail is just like throwing garbage at someone's porch. You don't know what they think about it. You're not standing there looking at them. You're not polling them. You're not taking up data. You're just sending them a document. And that's part of the dirty money and the kind of unethical work and the kiting that goes on in these spaces. So to your question, having said all of that, to your question, the NPAs are a lot of defectors, okay? Inside the Democratic Party, there are probably middle-aged and people that are older who don't want to leave the Democratic Party because they feel like it would hurt us. So right now, about 60% of the people in this state are either registered Democrat or NPA. What we need to do is determine what those people want, generally speaking, and serve them, and this state will flip right back to where it was. It is the insistence on some people at the organizational level, that's what I'll say, insistence of some people at the organizational level that we can continue to talk to a small group of donors and give them what they want, give them crosswalks on Davis Island, and that we will win elections. And that hasn't turned out to be true. Has not borne fruit. And so now, as the younger political advisors and strategists enter the space, people like David Hogg, the conversations are changing into, hey, these people aren't speaking to the majority of folks. What if we had a platform that 60% of the people, let's say we got all of the Democratic voters and half of the NPAs, 10% of the NPAs, you win, you sweep the board. But the conversation has to meet those individuals where they are. And it's not happening.
Thanks for calling, Jiminy.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Bye-bye. All right, let's see. Chris in Tampa. Hi, Chris.
Hey, thanks so much. Always appreciate the truly diverse perspectives on this show, and I will be hopefully optimistic on your analysis just there for the future. Going back to our mayor being part of the SEMA working group or panel, I'm wondering, is there any way, any formal or informal way to kind of grassroots up sort of a list of, hey, Mayor Castor, we're really honored you're chosen for this. Here are some things from your home region that we'd love you to bear in mind when you go into this group. I'm not sure what decisions exactly they'll be making, but I guess I would echo what you said in terms of how great she's been in some of the core functions on emergency response, especially with regard to preparation and sort of being way out in front and just emergency preparedness. I think it's really been, it's not surprising to me that Tampa will be a city that the rest of the country learns from. But I'm just wondering, is there any role for the community to play to sort of say, hey, at least we told you what we hoped you would do, and maybe she won't do it, but something to that regard.
All right. Thanks for calling, Chris.
So, I think that it's a great idea to, an editorial, an open letter. Those are all spaces where, this information is sure to be given to the mayor by the administration, by her staffers. They have people whose job it is to do that, is to take the temperature of public opinion through social media and through the news outlets and let her know. Also, I think it's perfectly okay for you to have an appointment with your counselor, right? If you meet with your counselor and say, hey, this is something, and don't go by yourself, organize a group of people. 10 people is a good, nice number, okay? It's a nice number. 10 of you ask for an appointment. We'd like to discuss being heard on these issues. I highly suspect, though, and I say this to the caller, I highly suspect that this is more Doge nonsense under the cover of an evaluation, right? We've got the governor giving back money. St. Pete just saw $333 million clawed back a couple weeks ago. And I sincerely, just based on everything I've seen to the last caller, this is a ruse to stop the response from being what it has been and what has made it successful. I honestly believe, I'm never in town when the hurricane season comes, but I honestly believe that the response...
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know what's going on.
Mike, do you have a mic open?
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
Yeah, can you go on mute?
Can I go on mute?
Yeah, because we
hold on. Wait, I'm going to put you on hold real quick, okay?
Sounds good.
You can see this coming, right? The Doge administration, I just don't want to say the name. The Doge administration is afoot. And if you think this is going to be something positive,
it's
that
not.
You can speak into their listening, it's probably not. But as an organizer, I say, get yourself a group of people, a group that you're affiliated with, other concerned friends. The next time you guys have a kegger, get together, dinner, talk to your friends about it, see who's concerned, get a meeting with your counselor, go in and talk to that person about it and see if they can run it up the tree.
All right. So now we'll talk to Mike from Sarasota.
Hey,
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, Mike.
And I was just wanted to follow up on one thing that Gary said,
Okay.
which is that, and I would point out that justice delayed is justice denied. Why did it take the Biden administration almost 4 years to prosecute Trump for the January 6th stuff? I'm asking you because I think y'all as experts on these issues. So, but because it took them so long, then we weren't able to get Trump convicted. And so my question is, why did it take so long to get him into court?
So you remember all the delays? He kept asking the courts. He did this on purpose, right? His lawyers did this on purpose. He kept asking for continuances and, there were delays and, I got to get this information. I don't have this information. They kind of slow walked it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's like when you have the money to lawyer up very well with every law firm that will represent you until they just can't stomach you anymore, then you know the roadmap on how to get things slowed down. And I blame Joe Biden. Big surprise, because I blame Joe Biden for most everything. But
thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama.
I see you.
I blame Joe Biden for not, insisting that Merrick Garland put the hammer down on both Trump and all the protesters are terrorists.
Let's name the elephant in the room. The American court system is a pay-to-play system.
Well, I'm going to let you go real quick, Mike, and then I'm going to address Donna's comment.
And let me tell you,
I just want to conclude. So you're giving Trump's lawyers the credit for delaying it. Okay.
No, we're not.
No.
We're saying that the court system itself and the players in that space. Okay, give you an example. Let's say I get a DUI on Friday and I go to jail. I get out on Monday and I immediately hire a lawyer on a $10,000 retainer. And that lawyer walks back to the court with me and they give me a fine, which no big deal, right? They give me a fine. Maybe they drop the charge because they didn't get a breathalyzer or blood work on the scene or something. And I contest that. And after about 6 months of going back and forth, maybe I get out of it entirely with the fine for reckless driving. If I do not have the money, the $10,000 or $20,000 to buy my way out of this, I'm going to get my license suspended for several years. I'm still going to have a massive fine. They might give me They might give me the option to do 30 days in jail along with a suspended license. But let me tell you, the hammer's coming down a lot harder on me if I have a public defender than if I'm going to, if I have the money. And so it's a pay-to-play system. And so what Liz, who is a lawyer, just said,
I do not do criminal law.
right, is that, he was able to file motions and ask for continuances and on and on and on and on. And the courts obliged him.
Well, it's not just obliging. Every jurisdiction has different rules on motions you can file, when you can file them, things like that. Even between Florida and Georgia, it's a whole different world, pretty much. So it's, depending on the jurisdiction. I am not licensed to practice in New York, so I have no idea how that works. But I do know that the civil system in New York is a whole lot different than ours is. So it's not that they were game playing or anything like that. However, they knew the rules so that they could take advantage of the rules.
Well, what I will notice is that Letitia James, the Attorney General for the state of Florida,
State of New York,
was able to successfully prosecute the case on the civil level.
Right.
And so somehow when it came to the criminal level, the federal prosecutors were unable to do that in the same time that she did.
Agree.
Yeah.
That happened.
Okay. So thanks for calling, Mike.
Well,
you're welcome, Bubba.
Bye-bye.
Mike brings a very important point, is that if the folks in charge there had acted in a timely manner, we might not be faced with some of the catastrophic outcomes that we're seeing. Speaking of catastrophic outcomes, there's a local woman here that our rep, Kathy Castor, is working on, which I appreciate, where a mother went for her regular check-in, and as agreed upon by the immigration services, and she was taken into custody and summarily deported back to Cuba. And she has a young child and a husband, both American citizens. And that is what we're doing right now. So to Mike's point, these are the types of things that people are suffering as a consequence of the inability to act in a timely fashion on the federal level, right? It exposed us to this guy again.
Yeah, now you're ripping, all these people like, oh, babies are so great, and, all lives matter, and whatever else the pro-birthers say.
And then you're done nursing. Let's go, Mom.
Yeah. All right, you've done your job. You gave us a baby. You nursed it. Now, time to get weaned.
Yeah, weaning by deportation.
Yeah, yeet to Cuba.
Yeeted. This is madness.
So, it's the people who should have done something about it, Biden, did not. And here we are.
But when we talk about this stuff, we have to say this. There's another layer here. Immigration was a very popular issue going into the election, right? I don't know. We were given, the American public was given an advance view of what some of the methods were that the Trump administration would use to remove people from the country. This was not a secret. But what they didn't tell us was that everybody was on the table. And you hear them talking about it in the administration where even citizens are not on the table and are on the table. And I have questions about how this continues, because it seems that the courts have limited ability to intervene. Are you getting that?
Did you see where that judge got arrested for obstruction when ICE came to try to get this? Yeah.
It said she let someone out of the side door.
Yeah. A judge.
Hillary Clinton even weighed in on that one.
He got suspended, though, too.
The judge did?
Yeah. In Wisconsin.
For doing that?
Mm-hmm. And Pamela Bondi just jumped right in there right away, right?
Yeah. It's like, okay,
She got suspended by the court over her. I forget what it's called, but it was a three-judge panel
appellate.
that suspended her.
Yeah, appellate court. Oh, wow. See, because that's all part of it. You know, Trump and his cronies know the rules of how to get things done. You appoint judges. Maybe she was.
She was elected, I think.
Okay, yeah, she was elected. I think we didn't homework that section of the program. It just came up organically. But I do know she was arrested, and Maria is telling me now that she has been suspended from her job. Which, I mean, the rules for judges are very strict in Florida, anyway. And yeah, if you get arrested, I imagine that puts you on automatic suspension.
I mean, to your point, Liz, I think that they do this thing where, they do know the rules. But the thing is that I think that they understand the rules in order to break them, right? Like they really are after breaking all of them. And then they know what this slow walk is like. So they're like, catch me if you can.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Rule of law is nothing. And I think that we've got to make some determinants about like where we go from here on that.
Well, the rules and the laws and everything are great, but if you don't have people enforcing them, they're useless. We're going to take 2 callers who each have 1 minute, Jack and Joe. Kirk, I'm sorry we can't get to you today. We're actually floating the idea of having a second hour on the HD program or whatever. So we can take all the late callers then. All right. Joe in Venice. Hi, Joe.
Good morning. Good morning. Pope Trump, make the Vatican great again. And you just got to remember what Trump has said. He needs generals like Hitler had. And I don't believe we will ever have another fair election in the USA. When Trump got elected, people, basically the voters of America put Hitler in charge. And now the Gestapo is running around the country with masks on, unmarked vehicles, calling people away. And he just said the other day, on his 100th day, we're just getting started. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Right. Yeah.
He wants to protest to turn violent, and if they don't turn violent, he'll put people in there to make them violent, so he can call out the National Guard.
Right.
And deputize the Proud Boys and the Klan and the Oath Keepers, and there you go. That's where we're headed.
All right. Thanks so much, Joe, and I absolutely agree. Jack in Dover, you got 1 minute.
Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Liz. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Well, I just was with my Aunt Diane, who was a Methodist minister that used to live in Louisville, Kentucky. And while I was bringing her to my sister's house from the airport, she told me about how Louisville is a sanctuary city, and she's proud of it. That there are Bosnians there and people from Venezuela and all of these other countries. And I'm just thinking that wouldn't it be nice if the saying that they used to say about the federal government's power is only power that is given to them, but most of the power for states is reserved to the states.
Right.
You kind of remember that? I'm not saying it. I'm not quoting it correctly, but you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
States' rights, versus rights. Federal rights. Because state rights are infinite, and federal rights are limited. Yes.
So my prayer for today is just that people like my Aunt Diane and states that have sanctuary cities, that they be in charge of themselves, and that the federal government just leaves them alone unless they bring in an obvious criminal. And then, I think the police and the judicial system will catch that person, and that person should be prosecuted.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, Jack.
So I got something for you guys. I got a little morsel. As you well know, there are going to be a lot of seats changing hands at midterms. And tomorrow, on May 2nd, Laurel Lee is going to be talking at TEDx. And people are going to protest there.
Oh, wow. That'll be fun.
So they say, bring your lawn chair.
All right, Frank gave us the finger.
Yeah. So, yeah,
good
Google that. You can Google where's Laurel Lee to get that information.
All right. So thank you so much for listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Please join us next week for more juicy gossip and surprises.